Pull up at your spot when you're ready. All designer on what I'm wearing. Shorty getting geek, can't stop staring. Go to Mickey D's in the McLaren. Know your friends gon' ask, but don't tell them. Got you feeling good with a felon. This is for the streets, this ain't Ellen. Big Versace ring, fuck a wedding. Hold up, booty looking swole up. Like a robbery the way we roll up. Body like a bottle Coca-Cola. We don't give a fuck.
Alright, let's see if that's a little bit better. Probably too loud. Probably because I can't listen to it, but I want to. Alright. Solo streaming today. Wanted to see. I guess I'll clip it up separately. Alright. This is really fascinating to whoever eventually watches this. We're in an era now where browsers, mobile devices, desktops, all of the apps running the internet are now making a decision to block third-party tracking or cookies. So you don't even necessarily need to be on a phone. You could be on a desktop, and this is Microsoft Edge's latest release, and it is blocking any sort of tracking cookies. So you're definitely in an era where I would say everybody's just kind of getting blocked now. If it's not what's called a first party cookie or a first party attribution, I don't think anybody's really gonna know you even visited the website. Like, that's how much blocking is going on between Apple and iOS blocks. And then you also have that browsers like DuckDuckGo, for example. They're blocking they were one of the first to majorly spearhead this. And now, ironically, iOS had none of those features. And now iOS and Safari have all of those features. So I would say if you're not aware of this, there's a bigger problem. Because if you don't know that half or almost all of your user data now is missing, then your platform and your sales trajectories and your overall data for how you're going to generate revenue is going to be very broken. So I'm just going to show you some real life world examples. Here's a new site that we're working on, and it has the maximum level of tracking, but we are doing what's called first party and server side audiences as the priority strategy, whereas the pixel and the actual conversion of the HTML metapixel is a secondary objective. If that doesn't work, that's great. We have the server becoming the primary data source here. So it does a great job, and you'll see here why in a second. But you'll notice I immediately load the site. Out of the gates, tracking prevention blocked. Failed to load. Tracking prevention blocked. So Clicky is an analytics platform. It's a third-party analytics. It doesn't even do ads. They still blocked it. Facebook, this would be Facebook ads or Facebook pixel, blocked. And then it is loading a bunch of this. And then ironically, because this site has a Calendly embed, it's blocking everything from Calendly. This is not even from the website. This is all from Calendly's embed. So it is not allowing any of that data. If you were to check Google Analytics, Google AdWords, Meta, even Clicky, this visit would not even exist right now. It just blocked everything going outbound. So the real question is, what are we doing to combat that? How do we get over people not being able to see us in the data stream, right? So we created a on-platform tracker, and you'll actually see it here in the code. Let's see if I can find it. Do a little refresh here. Okay, hold on. Let's do one more. There we go. Got a lot of stuff in there. Okay, so right here you can see we're getting their IP address, but we're not calling a third-party site or cookie, so it's allowing it to go through. And that's really kind of the magic here, is ultimately if like if they don't have to go through any other third party, you're set. So we're getting their IP address, and then we're actually assigning a visitor ID. And then based on that IP address, we're getting the city, the state, the device. We create what's called a device audio tag. So the device has an audio signature, a canvas signature. We get how many cores, we get time zone, we get the device signature itself, we get the screen resolution, the platform, all of this information, all the way down to the organization of the actual internet connection. And needless to say, with all of this information, and it was not blocked, 200 OK, is now being stored locally on the database and then sent back out to Meta for conversion without it being blocked. And you can also see that we're using a session visitor ID, and we're attaching that to the tracking URL. So everywhere you look, we're adding things to quote unquote follow you around. But technically, the moment you visit here, I have all of that visitor information. Yeah, where was it? Right here. I have everything I need to know about you, and then I can follow you around. So if you're interested in the product or the service we're selling, you're probably gonna come back, right? And so that's really the other side of it, is the magic of you coming back is now we have the data to bring you back. So as you can see, this was us just a second ago, and it was all blocked here on the platform. Nothing to Clicky, nothing to Meta, but we grabbed all of your information and then set it through our own API on the back end of our server, so that you didn't actually have to send the request at all. We collected your information, we noted the visit, and then we sent all the data offside to our conversion API. And ultimately, now you can see we have a whole profile about you, and then we have signals. So if it's a canvas, audio, or a signature, we can track you down even if you visit from another internet connection or another device. Even if it's on the same network, we have tools in place to detect, like, hey, you might have visited here on your laptop and your phone, because it is on the same IP address. And then all of that information is fed back into the conversion API, so your ads are running extremely effective now. And then we also built a custom filter that detects humans versus robots. So you can see there's a lot of robot visits. And guess what? We don't want any of that data really going back. So not only do we have a view so you can see humans versus robots, but you can also turn on a filter that'll only send the humans data to the conversion API. So now your conversion API's data integrity is even higher. And obviously your own testing is probably the only thing polluting it at that point, but every other connection in that test set is gonna be real customers. And so yeah, you could even see, like today, humans only 3, but if I go to robots, there's 7. So today would have shown 10 visits, but only 3 actual humans. So kind of an important metric, as you can imagine. But yeah, so when you hear people talk about cookieless world or first party audiences, that's what this is. We've just evolved it further, because we are seeing issues where Shopify.com and any other sites hosted with Shopify.com are also running into some data integrity issues, where you're seeing not every single piece of information is being sent to Shopify. We've got some tactics where we can turn on always on sort of triggers, and we can make sure that maximum data integrity is specified. But, there is the question is, okay, if the Shopify store itself is being blocked, then how is any tracking occurring, right? And if you come into here, this is my Shopify store. It's our main.com, ultrabyrich.com. And you can see, even though we're selling a service subscription, it's still blocking all of that information to and from Shopify. So is this data right here, the collect API, is all being blocked. So how much traffic from Shopify is actually being recorded now is really the question. And I think in our updated testing, we're proving that this is going to be more beneficial because we're tracking it at a first party level. So if you're interested in this and you want a site that not only does first party tracking, but also server side conversion tracking, I'd love to chat with you. Hit me up, use the link in the profile.